There's something in the air in the Bronx. It's not just the pressure to win. It's the scent of change, of ambition, of a front office that, for the first time in a long while, seems ready to act, not just react. In the last few hours, two major reports have shaken the Yankees' inner circle. The first, the name Jhoan Duran, one of the most electric relievers in all of MLB, is back on the radar. This isn't just another rumor. It's a strategic read that reignites a previous attempt. A move that could turn the Yankees' bullpen into an impenetrable fortress come October. The second, even bolder. Kyle Tucker, All-Star, Gold Glove, Silver Slugger, is heading toward free agency. And the Yankees, who have already tried to land him before, might be back in the race. But this time, it's different. The price is sky high and legacy is on the line. If these two pieces fall into place, the Bronx might finally start dreaming big again. But none of that will matter if the fans are left out. So go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Here, you don't just watch from the sidelines. Here, you're part of the conversation. If you feel like the Yankees are about to flip the switch, this video is for you. Because when the empire moves, the entire baseball world stops to watch. Trade news number one. Imagine a bullpen that not only holds the game, but suffocates the opponent. A trio capable of turning every final inning into a nightmare. With every pitch, the tension rises. The silence in the stadium turns into anticipation. And the Bronx erupts. If you're a Yankees fan, you know that winning has never been enough. The legacy demands more. It demands dominance. And that dominance starts on the mound, when the lead is slim and the game hangs by a thread. That's why, in the last few hours, a suggestion raised behind the scenes has reignited a flame that seemed dormant. What if Jhoan Duran returned to the Yankees' radar? The same name that once seemed out of reach now emerges again as a possibility. Discreet but powerful. This video will take you down the paths that connect the present to the past, from the Rivera era to the challenges of 2025. You'll understand why the Yankees may be about to create one of the most feared bullpens in modern MLB, and how that could be the difference between another elimination or the long-awaited capture of the 28 championship. And before we dive deep into the story, go ahead and leave your like and subscribe. Here, every rumor becomes debate. Every inning is lived as if it were October. If you feel the Yankees in your heart, this channel is your place. Because here, the fan's voice also takes the field. What's going on? Let's get to the facts. The Yankees bullpen is not bad. In fact, it has shown resilience. Devin Williams, who started off poorly, has now found his form again. Since May 31st, he has posted an ERA of only 0.96 over 10 games. He has reclaimed the closer role. Luke Weaver, on the other hand, has established himself as a pleasant surprise, a reliable and solid piece. Together, they have held the late innings. But when we look at the rest of the league, at bullpens from teams like the Orioles, Dodgers, or Phillies, the question returns, will it be enough? This is where Jhoan Duran comes in, the Minnesota Twins pitcher, who, according to Ryan Garcia of Empire Sports Media, could be back on the Yankees' radar. There is no offer on the table, nor an ongoing negotiation, but there is the analysis, the evaluation, the history, and the opportunity. Duran is different, the kind of pitcher who changes a game without even stepping on the field. His presence heats up the bullpen with adrenaline. He has an ERA of 1.78 in 37 games this season. His fastball is a force of nature. It's electric, it's violent, and it's effective. For 3 years, he has been the Twins' closer, but in New York, the plan will be different. To put him in before the 9th inning as an explosive bridge to Devin Williams. Now imagine 7th inning, 2 men on base. The game is in danger. The manager looks to the bullpen, and there he is. Joan Duran enters. 3 pitches later, the batters are back on the bench. Not knowing what hit them, the atmosphere changes. The Bronx feels it. The opponent falls silent. That's the idea. To build a 3-headed monster with Williams, Weaver, and Duran. A trio capable of locking down any MLB lineup, especially in October, when details decide fate. But like any rare piece, Duran would not come cheap. He is under contract control through 2027, which means stability, potential, and a high cost. The Yankees would have to give up value. But is it worth it? Brian Cashman has already shown that when he believes in the championship window, he acts. The arrival of Chapman in 2016, for example, divided opinions, but changed the bullpen landscape. In 2025, with a rotation that inspires doubts and an increasingly tight postseason, a bullpen reinforcement can be more decisive than a starter. And although Williams has taken back the 9th inning with authority, Duran's presence would create a domino effect. Less pressure on Weaver, more security for starters who can't deliver 6 or 7 innings. And above all, a response of rivals who are also moving in search of dominance. Remember, there is no confirmation that the trade will happen. Not even an open conversation between the Yankees and Twins has been disclosed. What exists is Ryan Garcia's analysis, and the fact that the Yankees have tried for Duran before. And at this moment, there is logic in trying again. But what if they don't try? What if they bet only on what they have? The truth is the current bullpen is functional. And with Williams' recovery, perhaps it's enough. But enough is rarely enough for the Yankees. In New York, the bar is set differently. The past does not allow complacency. That's why I want to know from you. Is bringing Duran now the right step? Or would it be a rush move? Would you trust the current trio until the end of the season? Or are you ready to give up young prospects for more firepower in the bullpen? Comment down below. Your opinion matters as much as any analyst's, because you live this with your heart. And if this video sparked that flicker of hope, the one only Yankees fans understand, go ahead and subscribe because there's more coming. Trade news number 2. The saga is still in its early chapters. And, as always, the Bronx will be the stage for the next big act. But what if that next act isn't in the bullpen? What if the piece the Yankees are seeking to finally turn the page isn't among the pitchers, but rather at the plate, in the outfield, with a player who seems born to wear the heaviest jersey in Major League Baseball? The name is Kyle Tucker. And if you haven't yet heard that name whispered through the halls of Yankee Stadium, get ready. He could be the next silent obsession of the front office. Tucker isn't just a good player. He is an elite all-star with 3 selections, a Gold Glove, a Silver Slugger, and numbers that keep impressing. Today, he is a central part of the Chicago Cubs' offense, one of the most dangerous lineups in baseball. But what few know, and what Chris Kirshner of The Athletic recently revealed, is that the Yankees tried to bring him before the Cubs even entered the picture. Yes, last offseason, New York made an approach for Kyle Tucker. It wasn't shallow speculation. It was real interest. But the Cubs got there first. They bet big, and the result is clear. Tucker became one of Chicago's keys to success in 2025. Now imagine the following scenario. The season goes on, the Cubs shine, maybe even win the World Series, and still, they can't renew with Tucker because there's one detail causing tension behind the scenes. The contract. The expectation is that Kyle Tucker will hit free agency with an astronomical demand. 12 years, $5, $25 million. Possibly reaching $600 million if a bidding war breaks out. And with a weak free agent class, the stage is set for this to happen. That's when the story turns back to the Bronx. But would the Yankees be willing to enter that fight? If this were another era, that question wouldn't even make sense. They would be the fight. They would start the bidding war. But today, the story is different. As Kirshner pointed out, when was the last time the Yankees signed a high-profile external free agent? It's a rhetorical question, because everyone knows the answer. The fans feel it. They see rivals like the Mets, Dodgers, and even Padres dominating the headlines, while the Bronx Empire seems hesitant. Try to rebuild with internal pieces or quiet acquisitions. But maybe this is the moment to change. Perhaps the pursuit of Joan Duran we mentioned earlier and the old interest in Tucker are clues. Maybe Brian Cashman is redrawing the map, not in a hurry but with precision. Imagine, for a moment, Tucker with the Yankees, an elite outfielder alongside Aaron Judge, a consistent, reliable, clutch left-handed bat, solid defense, offensive presence, star power. It wouldn't just be another signing. It would be a message to the league. Now think of the opposite. He hits free agency and goes to the Dodgers, or the Mets, or worse, stays with the Cubs and builds an offensive dynasty in the Midwest. Meanwhile, the Yankees keep trying to find themselves. Do you see the dilemma? The Bronx has faced this kind of crossroads before. When they lost Cano, they hoped something better was coming. When they passed on Harper or Machado, the excuse was to preserve the payroll. But time has shown that containment isn't always the best path. And now, the team needs to decide if it wants to be the shark again, or keep swimming as just another fish. Important to stress, nothing is happening right now. There is no negotiation, no offer, but there is history. And the fact that the Yankees tried for Tucker before is, in itself, a sign that doors are open. And if the Cubs can't afford a $1 billion contract, New York will be watching. The big question is, are the Yankees willing to pay the price to change their narrative? Because Tucker doesn't come cheap. He's the kind of player who forces a team to commit to a new era. And the fans know it, and wait for it, and deserve it. That's why I want to hear from you. Do you believe the Yankees should be protagonists in the market again? Should they open the coffers for Tucker if he becomes available? Or is it time to bet everything on the farm system, even with the risk of another decade without a title? Comment down below. This channel is the place for those who feel baseball with their hearts. And if you've made it this far, go ahead and like and subscribe, because in the next video, we'll talk about the player who might leave the roster to open salary and emotional space for all this to happen. Yes, maybe the change New York so badly needs starts with a farewell. The war for Kyle Tucker may be just beginning. And the Yankees, they're in the middle of the board, ready to make the move that could change everything.